The BMW Z4. Sporty, nimble.
But no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto or rear view camera. However, BimmerTech can change all that with our wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime and rear view camera kit. In the shop today is a 2013 BMW Z4. And while these cars look great and are fun to drive, there's no way to integrate your smartphone and there's no rear view camera. Now BimmerTech knows that in today's world, that's just not cool. So our wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime with rear view camera kit will take care of all of that. If you want to learn more about how these devices work, then keep on watching this video. But if you want to get straight to the installation of these products, then go to this time right here.
Our wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime offers seamless integration of your smartphone with your BMW. The whole system is plug and play and integrates with your iDrive controller, iDrive screen, factory in-car mics, and even your steering wheel controls. All of your favorite apps appear right on your iDrive display, which of course includes Google Maps, Waze, texting, and more. And with BMW's built-in mics, you can use Siri and Google Assistant. Our rear view camera will show on your iDrive display each time you put your car in reverse. Dynamic parking lines will appear on screen to assist you backing into those tight spaces. The best part about this kit, with the camera being integrated with the wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime, you save money by getting these two hot products together.
Let's show you what you get in this kit, unboxing style. So this is the box you're going to get your wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime and rear view camera in. And when you open it, the first thing you're going to get is a sticker, BimmerTech sticker that you can put on your car or your fridge if you want, because it's cool. Get it? Okay. Then you're going to get this document where you could download your instructions and of course your wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime and rear view camera kit right here. This is where all the magic happens that gets installed in your car. If we go down further, we're going to get your rear view camera, your rear view camera extension, the extra bits that go with your camera, including your template, Wi-Fi antenna. This is going to be your mic cable. This is your main power harness and quad lock connectors. You're going to get your AV USB harness, and you're going to get 2 video cables. This kit is perfect for those who want to bring their aging BMW into the modern world with smartphone integration and a rear view camera. Now this kit also allows for front camera integration as well, and the wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime allows for screen mirroring and the ability to play videos off the USB cable. Installing all of these will take you a few hours if you've never done something like this before. You do have to take off a few panels and deal with a bunch of screws, so our BimmerTech DIY Essentials Kit and Trim Toolkit will make this a breeze. It has all the tools you need and more, and it's even a great kit to have around the house as well. Each person who orders from us will also get a detailed set of instructions in a PDF file that you could use to help guide you through the process. Of course, if you don't feel comfortable doing this installation yourself, then head on over to our website and find a certified installer near you. We have them in about 30 countries around the world. And hey, if you're in the Orlando, Florida area, well then stop on by and we can do it for you. And if you still need help after all that, our support team is only a click or phone call away to help you with troubleshooting, installation questions, and more. And that is what we pride ourselves with here at BimmerTech, going the extra mile to make sure that you get the service and support that you expect. And now, without further ado, Jarrett will be installing our wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime and rear view camera in this Z4. Jarrett, take it away.
Let's first start by removing some trim. Use your BimmerTech trim tool to carefully pop out the outer trim surrounding the head unit. Using a T20 bit on your screwdriver, remove the 4 screws holding the head unit in place. To get it out, you'll have to remove the shifter. Pull up on the trim around the shifter, and then carefully pull up on the shifter to remove it. Remove the ribbon cable and set the shifter aside. Before removing the head unit, cover the center console to protect the trim. Then slide out the head unit and begin unplugging everything. For these 3, pull up the white tabs, then pinch them down and pull the cable out. For the quad lock, pinch the sides, rotate the arm, and pull. For these two, pinch in the tab and pull. We have a full video with lots of close-ups on these cables and how they work, link in the description. Now we have to access the mics, which are on the steering wheel. With your trim tool, pop off the upper trim behind the wheel. It is a little tricky. Once you get the right angle, you will have to pop off the leather trim by squeezing these tabs. Once free, disconnect the mic cable and set the trim aside. Let's run the BimmerTech mic cable. Start by plugging the BimmerTech mic harness into the BMW connector. Now we need to feed it to where the MMI will go. Do this with a large cable tie. Feed it through just as Jarrett is doing here. You will want it behind the head unit. After that, tape the other side of the mic cable to the cable tie and pull all of that slack through. Tidy up all of the slack and use cable ties to keep everything together. Now the Wi-Fi antenna. Peel off the backing of the double-sided tape and then find a good place for it in here. Just make sure that it won't get in the way of the head unit being put back in place. Let's get some cables ready. Place this video cable here so we can have access to it in a bit. Now grab the AV USB harness. We're going to feed the USB port to its final resting place. Tape it to a cable tie and then feed it down the passenger footwell. It may take a couple tries to get it to fit. Tidy up the extra slack. For the main power harness, let's start by replacing the fiber optic cable. Using a pick tool, lift up on the tab holding the fiber cable to the factory quad lock and then pull it out. Next, attach the factory connector to the BimmerTech plug-and-play harness. Press it in and rotate the arm down to lock it. Insert the fiber cable into the BimmerTech harness in the same side you took it out of in the BMW harness. While here, grab the mic harness you fed from the steering wheel and plug it into the BimmerTech power harness. Now we need to tap into the iDrive controller and hook up the aux connection. Using your trim tool, begin carefully working up the surrounding trim of the center console. Once up, disconnect everything underneath. They are all some version of pinch and pull or squeeze and pull. Now we need to bring the iDrive and aux cables forward. Since we have to remember the head unit is going back in, we have to feed them out of the bottom, so feed the cable tie behind the head unit enclosure and out under it. Tape the aux cable and iDrive harness to it and pull it through. To get the aux cable to the aux port, we have to feed it out the bottom of the center console. So break out that cable tie again and start feeding it down the side like so. You may have to loosen this hex screw here so you could slightly lift up the console to get a bit more clearance. Tape the aux cable to it and pull it through. While we're here, let's plug in the iDrive harness. Plug in the 4-pin connector. Plug the aux cable into the aux port. Tuck the rest back under the console and don't forget to tighten down the screw you loosened. Tidy up all the extra slack. Now let's plug everything back in. Make sure you firmly seat the cable into the iDrive controller. It's very easy to think it's all the way in, but it won't be. Snap the trim back down and you're done with this part. Let's get the wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime in. Jarrett started by first tidying up everything for a clean installation. Next, grab your MMI and start plugging everything in. Power, Wi-Fi antenna, AV USB, the green BimmerTech cable you set aside before will go into LCD in, and the pink factory video cable will go to LCD out. Don't forget to make sure your dip switches are set to the correct positions depending on the size screen you have, which is pictured on the MMI Prime itself. Tuck the wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime to the back so we could fit the head unit back in later. Back at the steering wheel, plug in the mic cable into the BimmerTech harness you ran and then snap the trim back in place.
Now that mostly concludes the installation of the wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime, so let's move on to the camera. Now you do have to cut into the rear bumper, and due to the nature of this being a hardtop convertible, some of the trim that you need to remove is a little tricky, but follow along and you'll do just fine. Now we are going to be running the camera cable on the right side of the car, and we need to remove some trim first to accomplish that, so let's get to it.
Let's start by removing this rear trim. Unscrew the 2 stoppers on top. Then, using a trim tool, pop out the 6 fasteners holding the trim in place. Once they are all out, remove the floor panel. Now these cover pieces here. Start with these fasteners and then remove the top half and pop out the bottom half. Remove the fasteners holding this panel in place and remove it. To get the last bigger piece out, we have to remove the rest of the floor, so pop off these 2 fasteners and pull the panel out. Remove this plastic piece and then the last few fasteners and then angle it out of the way. At this point, you can begin finally wiggling out the rear trim. Be careful and take your time. Don't forget to unplug the light. Now, since you're a pro at removing this trim, do the same thing on the other side. This is where we're going to feed the cable for the camera. To start that process, Jarrett removed both of the license plate lights to give himself more room. Jarrett also has the cable tie routed through the left license plate light just to make things a little easier for later. Place the included template right in the middle between the 2 lights. Once you're confident on the placement, begin to cut the hole out. You might want to do a couple test fits along the way to check your process. Remember that it is always better to have extra material left than to have cut too much away. You'll probably find that you need to take the license plate off to be able to slide the camera into place. Don't worry, once the camera is set, the plate and frame will fit. Run the nut for the back of the camera up that lead and then thread it onto the camera to tighten it down. Tape that lead from the camera to that large cable tie you ran earlier and pull it through. Since we actually needed to go through that grommet, take some WD-40 and spray the inside of it and pull the lead of the camera through. Wipe it down when you're done. You can button up everything around the license plate area since we're done here.
Now the last thing we need to do is run the harness from the MMI to the camera, and in this car, no surprises here, there's more trim that we need to remove to make this easy and seamless, so let's get to it.
First, start off by plugging the power and video cable into the AV USB harness of the MMI. Then take the other end of the camera extension and tape it to our old friend, the cable tie. Pull it through the side of the center console like so, and then pull all of the slack through. Now we need to start removing more panels to run this. With a Phillips bit, remove these 3 screws holding the passenger footwell panel in place. Unplug it and set it aside. Pull off the door sill trim by pulling, and do the same with the speaker grill trim. If any of the fasteners get left behind, use a trim tool to pop them out and then stick them back in the trim for later. Start feeding the cables like so, up and out of the way, and then down behind the carpet. To get this to the camera, we need to remove this group of trim pieces. Start by pulling up on the seatbelt covering and then pop off the speaker grill. Unhook the cargo net, which is accomplished by popping out this little cover plate. Remove this 10mm bolt here, and then use an 18mm wrench or ratchet to remove the seatbelt bolt. You will have to supply this tool yourself. Once it's free, slide the unit down. Then apply some pressure to pop off the piece of trim. Unplug the 2 connectors and set this piece aside. Take your 10mm socket again and carefully remove the plastic bolt holding the last piece in place. Once out, remove the trim piece. Finally, feed the cable tie through one last time. Since the camera extension cable should still be attached, go ahead and pull it through. Plug the 2 ends of the camera together, and now let's give it a test before putting everything back together. So let's get back up to the front of the car. Grab your head unit and put all of the cables back from where you took them out. The only changes are that the green BimmerTech video cable will now go in the pink video cable port on the head unit, and the BimmerTech quad lock will go into the head unit. These are all pretty straightforward, but if you need a detailed look on how these connectors are removed and reinstalled, check the description for a full video on just that. Slide the head unit in place and don't forget to plug in your shifter and set it back into place as well. Turn on the auxiliary power to your car. Once you see the iDrive menu, hold down the menu button on your iDrive controller until you see it switch to the MMI Prime. Navigate over to the settings and in rear view camera, select aftermarket. Now start your car, shift into reverse, and make sure everything works. Now that everything works, put all the trim back on. The rear trim, footwell and speaker trim, door sill, screw the head unit down and replace that trim, and of course, the trunk trim.
And that is how you install our wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Prime with rear view camera in a Z4.
Now our customer can enjoy his favorite apps right on his iDrive display, controlling them with his iDrive controller or voice, and he can take full advantage of having a rear view camera always available. With only a short amount of your time, you could transform your BMW to be just what you always wanted.
And if you don't want to take our word for it about how amazing our products are, tons of people are saying the same exact thing online. From Trustpilot to our website, YouTube, and so much more, people are in love with our products, including James, who says hands down the best rear view system after a native factory unit. If you want this kit for your Z4 or almost any modern BMW, Mini, Supra, or Rolls-Royce, then head on over to our website, enter your VIN, and find the right kit for you. For more tips and tricks, product reviews, installation videos, and so much more, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and don't forget to ring that bell. And hey, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thanks for watching.